Forgot to unlock my mouth. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour Friday night. How are you doing? Good to see everybody. What is up? How's it going, you guys? I'm so happy to be here for a few reasons. First of all, it's Friday night at the end of the work week. I'm tired, but never too tired for Cantina Social Hour. Other reason is Thanksgiving break. I got a week off from work, so I'm pretty stoked. And then third reason is there's only a few shows left this year. I'm going to talk about the schedule in just a little bit. And then, of course, fourth reason, we have a brand new guest joining us tonight for some toy talk, some collector talk here in the Cantina. So I'm really excited to get started. And you guys, thank you for being here. Genuinely, I really appreciate you. Guys are definitely the best part of this here in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, for being part of this show, and for helping to make it what it is, to make it fun for me and to make it more entertaining and enjoyable. So thank you guys so very much. All right, so let's go ahead and do some housekeeping stuff before we talk toys, before we bring tonight's guest in, and then we'll go through the chat in just a minute, see who's with us tonight. But yeah, so let's rummage through the news here for a second, if you will. So at the very start of this show, I went ahead and played Cybernetic Dreams. That is the latest single off of the upcoming album, Sounds of the Cantina, which you've heard me talk about it before. It drops on Tuesday, December the 3rd. And I'm very pumped for this album. It's been years in the making. For a long time, people have been asking, hey, Victoria, when are you going to put out a CD or a collection of your songs from the YouTube channel? And, I always like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. Like, do people really want to listen to it? Well, yeah, I guess they did. So here's the album. It's coming out. Cybernetic Dreams is the latest single off of this album. It came out on Tuesday. And if you were listening at the very start of the show, then, you heard Cybernetic Dreams. Basically, Cybernetic Dreams is, it is what it sounds like. Like, this is a very different song, I think, from the other ones I've released this far. We've had Clone Witch, we've had Interstellar Traveler, we've had Haunted House, and all of those have more like I don't want to say like a scary, but more of like a, more of a serious sort of vibe, a little bit more of a spooky sort of vibe. Cybernetic Dreams is totally the opposite. It's probably my favorite song on the album, in fact. It's just a little bit more of a joyful, beat cheery type tune. When I created Cybernetic Dreams, I tried to bring in a little bit of an anime sort of influence, a little bit of a Japanese influence to it. I was just thinking about my times like in Japan and just, hearing like all the fun music and the sights and the sounds. And that's kind of what I wanted to recreate. But as I was putting it together, I started feeling like, hey, this kind of feels like if you could create a song, a synthwave song about a new beginning, about something starting anew from scratch. Like, what does that look like? You're a brand new sunshine at the beginning of a morning. What does that opportunity look like? And if that includes the possibility of waking up with cybernetic augmentation, then I'm all here for it. So to me, it kind of sounds like that. Like maybe you're waking up with augmented like body parts. Now you're partially cybernetic. I don't know. Lots of influence into these songs. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what any of them mean. But yeah, the song is out now. Anywhere you get your music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Tidal, which is my favorite because you can listen to it in lossless, max quality. It sounds fabulous on Tidal. Apple Music, / iTunes, Google, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. It's everywhere, basically. You can get on DistroKid, anywhere you get your music. So I hope you check it out. Even if you don't like it, just give it a listen. I really would appreciate that. So as you know, December the 3rd, the album is coming out. And one thing I will be doing tonight, because there is not going to be a show next week because of the holiday weekend, because it is Thanksgiving. I won't be doing a show, but what I will be doing is I will be premiering tonight a brand new single from Sounds of the Cantina, the one that is going to go up next Tuesday. You guys are going to get it here first before anyone else. I will probably do that around the middle of the show, and I'm really excited for this song too. It's called Fighter Jet, and it's one of my older tunes, and I just love making music. So stay tuned for that. It's a little different too, I would say, from the other ones, but you guys will hear it, and hopefully you like it. Tell me, you can let me know. But yeah, as always, if you're using the songs in your stories or in your reels or whatever on social media, tag me in them. I love to see the music getting used. It's a blast. So thank you for doing that, and definitely tag me if you choose to do that. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about the album a little bit later when I bring out that new song. But I do want to remind you there is going to be a live stream on Tuesday, December 3rd, here on Victoria's Cantina, album release party for Sounds of the Cantina. Marketing our calendars. We'll still do a Friday night show that week, but this is going to be a Tuesday night show celebrating the release of the album. I'll go more in depth on the music making process, about the different songs that are on the album. There's 12 songs, as you know. We'll be talking about all of them, and who knows, maybe there'll be a guest or two joining me. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll find out. We'll find out very soon. Yeah, I'm also looking at doing an in-person release party for the album. Still ironing out the details about that. I posted something on social media, so it sounds like some people are interested in attending. So if that works out, I will definitely update through social media that is when and if it does happen. It won't be on that Tuesday night. It'll probably be like maybe after, like Wednesday night. I don't know. But I will be in touch with you guys regarding that. Another housekeeping thing here. As you guys probably know, there's a lot of Black sales that have already started all over the place. Amazon, all the toy stores like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Nerdzoic, all of our friends in the toy selling sector got a lot of things going. But if you are buying from Entertainment Earth and it is in stock, do not forget to use promo code Victoria so you can get yourself an extra 10% off your total purchase. This is the most expensive time of the year. Like we've been talking about it with the Hasbro releases. They're all hitting all at once. We're buying gifts and stuff for our loved ones for Christmas. Any little bit we can save helps. So, take advantage of that promo code. It's going to get you 10% off your in-stock order on Entertainment Earth. All right. Well, I guess we're ready to talk toys, you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to check in on the Haslab in a little while. We're going to talk about a new Sideshow figure that went up 6 scale. You guys already probably know what it is. We're going to be talking about some TVC news from this week, some Black Series news from this week. We're going to talk about playsets. What kind of playsets have been released so far in TVC, and what more do we want to see in TVC for playsets? And then, of course, we'll end, as always, with new acquisitions, brand new things we've added to our collections very recently. So, again, thank you for being here. I'm going to go through the chat. I'm going to see who's joining us so far this evening. Looks like there's a lot of conversation going on, which I love to see, of course. We got our moderator, Adam. Hey, Adam, what's up? Happy social hour to you, too. Thank you for being here, Adam. Thank you for moderating, as always. We got Britt with us. Hey, Britt, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you, as always. Let's see. We've got David Matthews joining us. Hey, David, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. William's with us. Evening, y'all. Hello, William. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. But I know we got Peak Obi-Wan. How's it going? Hello there, Victorian Cantinians, my favorite people. Thank you. July through November. How's it going? Angela, hello. Thank you for joining us, supporting tonight. We've got Trevor with us. What's up, Trevor? Good to see you. Appreciate you hanging out. Mary is with us. Good to see you, Mary. Always love seeing you here in the Cantina. Grant's Galaxy is back. Good to see you. Happy Freaking Friday to you, too. We got Jedi Lex in the house. What's up, Lex? Good to see you. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Always a pleasure. Hal Runner Base, what's up? Good to see you. We got Jason in the house. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, Jason Garcia, as always. Thank you for hanging out, being a long-time Cantinian. We got Lorena with us. Hey, Lorena. We missed you last week, but I'm glad that you're here this week. Thank you for hanging out with us. Charlie the Unicorn is back. What's up, Charlie? Cheers to you. Thanks for hanging out. We got Allison with us. How's it going? We got Bob with us. Hey, Bob. Happy Friday, Cantina patrons. Let's talk some TVC and other stuff. Always. Let's see. What else is here? Delvian Seek's with us. Hey, Delvian Seek. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for being here. Victoria, are you worried that all your toys will fall over on the shelf during an earthquake? Cross my mind. I have shelf anchors. They're anchored to the walls. The shelves aren't going anywhere. I'm not worried about that, but the toys are not anchored to anything. So those could definitely skydive. Or there doesn't even have to be an earthquake. Sometimes they fall anyway. Or as I like to say, they commit shelficide. They jump off of the shelf for reasons unknown. I cannot explain it. aliens, ghosts, something in between. I have no idea, but it does happen indeed. I hope you had a good trip, Lorena. Thank you. All right, cool. Well, I guess we're going to bring in tonight's guest, joining us for the very first time in the Cantina. And I'm so proud of my time, you guys. We started right at 6:30, and I told my guests we're going to bring them on at 6:45. It is 6:45 on the dot. I'm proud of myself tonight. That doesn't always happen, as you guys know. But let's go ahead and bring in tonight's guest.
Hello there.
Return of the Jedi. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for being with us. Really appreciate it. It's your first time in the Cantina, so we'll try and be gentle. Everybody in here is usually very cool, very, very positive, and great group of people here. So you're in good company. It looks like you got plenty of toys behind you, so you're gonna fit in just fine.
Cool, good to hear.
Yeah, no, that's a great background, and your collection videos are just when I see that display space you have, like I'm so jealous, like just how like professional and top notch and just gorgeously aesthetic. Like it just looks great.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that a lot, and I just have a lot of fun in the displaying aspects. I feel like that's like half the battle and half the creativity behind it. So I really enjoy doing that, and I'm hoping to get a 2024 collection room tour video out by the end of the year. But I've been waiting on the Ghost, so hopefully that is sooner than later. But yeah, that'll come eventually.
Yeah, that Ghost, man, I don't know where the Ghost is going to go. I have no idea where the Ghost is going to go, but it's got to go somewhere. So hopefully I'll I should hopefully get it like around holiday break, like Christmas vacation, right? So I'm hoping that I can find a place for it at that point. But I don't know. That's tomorrow Victoria's problem, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. But yeah, so no, Joe, welcome. And, tell us, this is your first time. Tell us a little bit about your own collecting journey, your own fandom within Star Wars, and anything you just want to share in that regard.
Well, I mean, I've been a lifelong Star Wars fan. I mean, I think I was maybe like 3 or so when I saw A New Hope or Star Wars for the first time, and I'm not going to go into the details of the story, but long story short, my dad got invited to his boss's house for dinner. So my brother, my mother, my dad, and I all went, and their family, they had kids, and I just remember they were like showing Star Wars for the kids to watch, and I ate a bunch of Twizzlers, and I got like really excited of all the action and stuff, and I threw up all over the floor. And I just remember leaving, and my mom was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they were like, "No, it's okay, we understand." And it was just this really weird thing, but it became like one of those funny family stories, and so I guess it blew my mind then. And first toy I actually ever got was the like jumbo figure, the 12-inch from the very original Kenner line. It was a C-3PO of that, and it had a broken foot that my mother got me from a garage sale. So that was like the first thing I ever got, and I was always kind of like looking around for Star Wars toys when I was a kid, like growing up in the 80s at garage sales and stuff. And then when the special editions came out and the Power of the Force 2, then a new level jumped. And then I got all in, actually getting like an allowance from doing chores so I could actually go to the store and hunt and buy Power of the Force 2 figures. And that was just a great time. And having new Star Wars toys on the shelves, and kind of took a hiatus in college, like probably a lot of us did, because you don't have room for anything, you don't have any money. So I didn't really collect for a while, but then kind of got back into it just around the time the sequels came out, and kind of picked up right where I left off. So been a lifer behind it, and it's fun. And I just love the fact that it's just something that brings people like you and me and everybody in the chat together. And it's one of the cool things like technology has done for us too, is allowing us all to connect. Like I was talking about it with somebody earlier today, where like these like little niche things that we have like in our daily lives. I don't have a ton of people I know in my day-to-day life that are into this stuff at all, but because of technology and the internet, I actually have found like real friends through it, and it's really, really awesome. So I'm really happy to be part of the community. And then also I do a channel where I kind of just highlight my collection on YouTube. It's very casual. It's all just like first person view on my phone. I don't want it to be anything other than casual, because I don't want it to get to the point where it feels like I'm doing a lot of work on it. I just want it to be chill. So I do that and just like to connect with people, but I'm a lifer in the game, and it's a journey. I'll tell you that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, and I agree. I mean, the community that, we being able to talk about toys online is definitely the best part about all this. Cause same here. I don't have anybody day to day, like, at work or like just in general that I can talk Star Wars toys. Like, like most people don't relate, right? Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I have a Baby Yoda plushie, or oh yeah, I have a Funko Pop of Chewbacca, but that's like the extent of it. So yeah, it's great to have this collected community where we can all come together and talk and hang out and have fun.
Totally.
Yeah. So all right. Well, looks like a couple other folks joining us. Timbo Toys, how's it going? Good to see you. All right. So I mentioned at the top of the show, there are only a few shows left, a few more streams left this year. So I just want to mention those dates really quickly because I am going to take a bit of a break. I have been streaming like consistently, pretty much all year. I think I've only missed maybe 3 weeks. And I need a bit of a break. So I love doing it, but I want to be refreshed as well. So as far as the social hour dates go, we are off next week for the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll be back the following Tuesday for the album release party, Sounds of the Cantina. And then I'll be back December 6th. We'll have a show that Friday. December the 13th, I will not be doing a show. And then December the 20th will be the last stream of the year. So 3 more shows, not including this one. And 2 if you're not including the release party. So yeah, we'll be back with a bit of a refresh vibe, hopefully in 2025. It's crazy to think it's already 2025, but soon. But anyway, yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into our topics here. All right. So first things first, I like checking in on the Haslab because I've been talking about this Haslab for, I guess, since it came out in October. And Ghostbusters is like one of my top 5 fandoms, I would say. It's probably like number 5. So I, definitely have been supporting this Haslab, and I definitely want this Haslab to pass because I want it. And that is the Ghostbusters Plasma Series Ecto-1 with 10 days remaining, 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds. Currently sitting at 9,360 backers out of a target of 12,000. I'm sure somebody here in the stream knows the exact number it was when we were live last week, but it doesn't look like it's moved a whole lot. Am I concerned? Am I worried? I'm a little nervous. I'm not saying I think it's going to fund, but I'm a little nervous that it hasn't moved a whole lot in the last week to 2 weeks. But Joe, what are your thoughts? Do you go outside of Star Wars at all when it comes to collecting?
I don't. I mean, if there's a second anything, it may be like retro video games, but I do not have a lot at all of those. I kind of just have a little bit, but I don't collect anything other than Star Wars. So
right on. You're far more restrained and responsible than I am.
It's debatable.
But yeah, no, I love Ghostbusters, and those first 2 movies. I mean, I grew up watching those, and this is something people have been asking for a really long time. So I'm actually surprised it hasn't already funded, because Mattel tried to do a 6-scale Ecto or 12-scale Ecto-1 back in I think it was 2015. They were doing their own campaign to try and fund a 6-inch figure scale Ecto-1, and it didn't get enough support, so it didn't happen. Here we are, almost a decade later, and now Hasbro's trying it, and so people have been asking for it, but I'm kind of wondering where some of those folks moved on or what's going on, because it's still got a little ways to go for that final push to be for it to have finalized success. So hopefully in the next 11 days we get there. I mean, I'm optimistic about it. I'm hopeful, and I'm pretty sure I'm confident it's going to fund. I'm just a little nervous that it hasn't already gotten a little bit closer than. I don't think it's gone up more than a couple hundred from last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and hasn't the last few Haslabs, I know the Cantina was like this, but hasn't the last few Haslabs kind of been this like slightly slower crawl than previous ones.
Yeah, no, it definitely has been a little bit slower. This one, like, I don't know. I know there's some people that do excellent tracking, like my friend John from the Vintage Collection Facebook group, who like tracks all this stuff, and he has got all the data and the charts and everything. I don't do that, but I do watch them all, and I feel like this one's like been just really slow, like compared even to those other ones for these last few weeks. It just kind of like everybody that wanted it jumped on, and then it just kind of fizzled out, and it's really slowed down. But Haslab's an interesting thing. You never really know exactly what's going to happen, or every campaign's a little bit different. The time of year is always a factor, and so lots of variables. But hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and this is something. I mean, definitely, I hope it funds. But this is something I was thinking of, like around the time of the Rancor. The Black Series Rancor was trying to get funded, where they had like 3 things going at the same time, and I was like, I hope this isn't the case, but I could see it. But like, is the nature of the Haslab like made to eventually self-destruct? Because like basically they're all like very large pieces, premium pieces, and with collectors, the inevitable is we all kind of eventually run out of space.
Right.
And not just people that collect one line, but like the people like yourself and so many others that collect so many toy lines. Like I know that one time where the Rancor was out and there was 3 Haslabs going at the same time, it kind of forced more people to choose than funding everything. But with that, when people are running out of space, things like that, for all these huge things, like we both don't know where we're going to put our ghosts. Like over time, that's going to force us to inevitably get more selective. And when people become selective on something that's purely funded by crowds and popularity, that's not a good thing. So that's something I was wondering. Like I hope that's not the case, but it seems like we can't just indefinitely add huge things to our collections over and over and over. But
yeah, we can't. I think there is a finite amount of Haslabs that are realistic and feasible for Hasbro to conduct before the whole thing sort of fizzles out.
yeah.
It's always a balance, right? Because they want to make money, right? They want to sell you stuff. They want to make money. They want to make it quickly, but at the same time, they can't give you everything all at once, because if they do that, then there's not going to be anything to sell you the next year or the next year after that, right? It's got to be like something that's like padded with other offerings that are less expensive throughout the year. But yeah, I mean, it's some people do buy all the Haslabs. I don't personally know anybody. I've heard people say that they do based on their comments they leave on my posts and stuff, but good for them. I don't know very many people that do that. And yeah, I mean, once you have all these different properties working their own Haslabs, whether it's Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, or Star Wars, and those are all like vying for collector dollars, right? And if you're focused only on Star Wars, not so bad. If you're focused only on Ghostbusters, not so bad. But if you're kind of cross collecting into other franchises, and that makes it a lot more difficult. And even with just the Haslab Star Wars TVC projects, like that's become really daunting. Like I don't know that I can really do a lot more beyond like what we've already committed to. I think the only other thing I'd really want is the Death Star, to be honest. And then I can't really think of anything else, just because anything else would probably be like a ship, and like I don't really have room for any more ships. I have big ships. I have the AT-AT. I mean, I've got the big Millennium Falcon. I've got all that stuff, right? So it's like it's great to have the Cantina. It's great to have the Razor Crest. It's great to have the Sail Barge. It's going to be great to have the Ghost, I'm sure. But then it's like beyond that, like, do I need to keep getting more and more bigger ships? Because it's just, yeah, at a certain point, you're going to start losing even the serious collectors who have been like at this like nonstop for all these years, which I would consider myself one of those. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing, but it is fun to speculate about.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I definitely hope Ecto 1 funds. And I'm assuming there's tiers, right?
Well, there are 2. There's the base version based on the first film. And then there's the deluxe version based on the first film, but also includes the parts to make it the Ecto 1A as seen in Ghostbusters 2. And that one also comes with the 4 Ghostbusters in their charcoal colored outfits and some additional accessories. And it's only a $75 price difference, which is pretty wild and kind of it doesn't make any sense, a whole lot of sense, honestly. Like who wouldn't buy the deluxe version? But there's not any, like, as far as stretch goals, there's nothing like that on this campaign. There was only the early bird figure, which if it backed within 2 weeks, they were going to throw in an extra figure. And that didn't happen, obviously, but they said, hey, we're going to give you guys the figure anyway if it backs. So they kind of changed the rule in the middle of the campaign, which, I don't know how that's going to work out long term, but it's not like they haven't done that before. Like you mentioned the Rancor, they changed the rules a couple of times during that campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah. Hopefully we get there.
It was the Louis Tully, right, that they threw in?
Yeah, he was the early bird figure that everybody's going to get if it funds.
Nice.
Let's see. I saw a question here, Bob. Yeah. So could it be a size issue? Maybe, Bob. I mean, yeah, that's what we're saying, right? Like the size of these vehicles, like it's, and I did get the other Ghostbusters things. I did back the proton pack, and I did back the ghost trap with the PKE meter, which those haven't shipped yet either. But I haven't even opened the proton pack. Like I just don't have anywhere to put it. I'm sure it's awesome, and I'd love to wear it and all that, but it's I don't have anywhere to put it, so I haven't even opened it. It's in storage right now. But yeah, I mean that's definitely a factor. I mean, most of us don't live in like these in I know I always say this almost every show, I feel like, but we all say, oh yeah, one day when I have that 5-story mansion with the whole 4th and 5th floors going to be a big giant toy museum, then I can display it. Most of us that's not going to happen, right? But yeah, we can't like buy everything, there's just not enough resources, space to do that. But yeah, Bob, that could definitely be one thing people are looking at, is that it's very big. Yes, there was an interesting thing this week regarding this Haslab. Hasbro Pulse posted a video of Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore in Ghostbusters, checking out the Haslab Ecto 1. And it's funny because we were just talking about this last week, like how cool would it be if they enlisted him to promote this? And they did. It was just a few days later they did. They published a video of him there, just kind of checking out the vehicle. So that was fun to see. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like that really put anyone, like, it didn't really like spike in numbers or anything as far as the backer count goes. But yeah, if it doesn't fund, I'm going to be disappointed, but it's not going to be like the Cantina, or it's not going to be like the sail bar. It's going to suck. It really will. Cause I really want this Haslab, but it's, I'm probably not going to lose. Well, I might lose a couple of nights sleep. I'm not going to lose like a week's worth of sleep, I guess. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to our next focus here. So we got a brand new 6 scale up for pre-order. And this comes from Sideshow, who has been doing their Scum and Villainy series in the 1/6 scale 12-inch figures. And this rounds out the last of the Cantina characters, Dr. Cornelius Evazan, which is just funny that his name is Cornelius. But yeah, so this is up for pre-order now. They had already put up Greedo, they had put up Garindin, they had put up Ponda Baba, and now Labria, and now they're putting up. They've put up Dr. Evazan. So this rounds out this complete Scum and Villainy wave. Will they make more? I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. I kind of want them to make more, but then I kind of don't want them to make more. But yeah, Evazan is up. He's priced at $275. They do have the payment plans available, and I gotta say he looks pretty good. I gotta say he looks. I'm pretty content with the way that this guy is looking. He looks good.
Definitely. I feel like every one of those Cantina pieces they showed look awesome.
Yeah, they do. I'm just glad they're making them because I know Hot Toys probably will never make these.
Right.
But it's great that Sideshow, they can kind of specialize a little bit more sometimes when it comes to some of these characters. And it's great that they're doing this. Charlie says they tease 7 more. Yeah, those were I'm pretty sure those were the Jabba's Palace characters, which I'm not going to do. I can't, I'm doing all the Cantina ones. I cannot do the Jabba's Palace too. I mean, I say that right now. Maybe they're going to do Bib Fortuna as they tease, and he's going to look incredible. I'm going to have to give in to Bib Fortuna, but I'm not. I don't think I'm ready to. I kind of have to be a little more focused when it comes to like 6 scale, because that can get, and it has gotten out of hand in the past. So I got to be a little more careful there. Adam says, I wish there was a Hammerhead. Yeah, that would be great. I know they did do Hammerhead a while back, like 10 years ago, and he was really nice. I never got him. I wish I would have. But yeah, I hope they either bring that back. I would buy Hammerhead. I would get Hammerhead if they did I would honestly. I don't want them to do more Cantina aliens because I would have to buy them, but I would buy them. So it's like it would be cool, but it would also be expensive. But I would certainly buy them if they did more.
Do you ever find out what Dr. Evazan's a doctor of?
It's a valid question. I mean, what is he? Yeah, kind of. It reminds me of that Ghostbusters line. Like, what exactly are you a doctor of? Yeah, with Evazan, I have no earthly idea. I mean, he was wanted on how many systems? So yeah, he's definitely. He's definitely up to something shady. I don't know what exactly. Charlie says he's the doctor of love. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know what his specialty is. I would say that Britt says I don't think he's ever been in medical school. Yeah, maybe he's a professor. Whatever he's a doctor of, I don't want him to be my doctor. I'll just say that.
It's the last thing you see when you're going under in the gas, like his face. You're just like,
oh man, and you're either not waking up or you're not waking up in one piece. So, cosmetic surgeon, maybe. There's a possibility, Trevor. Possibility. He was Obi-Wan's death stick stealer, maybe. Maybe Doctor of Death Sticks could have been. I mean, who knows?
It could be language, like he translated for Greedo, or I'm sorry, not Greedo, Ponda Baba. So
yeah, he doesn't like
related. Yeah,
yeah, he could be what it was, like a forensic linguist or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a legit straight up guy, and we're just judging him based on his temper. Maybe he's like actually like a good, like, I don't know, like a good spinal doctor or something.
Could be. I mean, I've seen very few like spinal injuries in Star Wars, so I think it checks out.
Yeah. He could even work for the what do they call them? Those guys from the Book of Boba Fett that do the cyborg stuff. Like, he could be one of those guys. I don't know. We don't know. Creative surgery, maybe. Yeah, we just don't know. Anyway, figure looks good. I have him on pre-order. I'm excited to get these, and they make it so easy here by saying collect them all. But it's easy to say it. But yeah, I'm gonna have these on the shelf. I can't wait to just get them all together on the same shelf. It's gonna be a really cool display piece. I will say, if they ever decide to do the Tonica sisters, though, I will definitely be in for those.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dr. Evazan. All right, let's see. We're gonna switch gears here to. Let's see what we got next. We got some vintage collection. IG-12. But IG-12 doesn't just come packed by himself. We're gonna go over to our pals at banthaskull.com and poach their images, as I always do. I'm sure they don't mind. So it's not it's IG-12, but he also comes with Grogu and Zelen. So it's a 3-pack, but it's not really. It's being sold as a deluxe pack, but is it really deluxe, or is it just that it's IG-12 with 1 gun and 2 technically characters, but are for all intents and purposes just accessories? We don't really have the answer to that, but we do know that this is the case right here.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's fine, but my first view of it, I thought, oh man, that looks like a retro collection figure. Like, I just thought it looked very plain and just rigid. Like, I wasn't absolutely blown away by it. And again, it's kind of the epitome of what deluxe has become. Like, there's always this debate every single time there's a deluxe figure. We're like, is it really not? I don't know. So I think at the end of the day, it's fine, but I was not blown away by it personally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, when they did IG-11 back in, I think it was like 2020 or 2021, I don't even remember anymore. When they did IG-11, like it was like one of the best figures like ever. Like really, like the engineering on it was just pure brilliance. It looked great from a sculpting standpoint. The deco was really nice. The articulation was just fairly revolutionary for what it brought to the table at that point in time, which makes 8D8 all the more confusing. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so seeing this, it's basically the same figure. It's retooled and repainted, and it has a couple of little figurines with it. You get Grogu and the Zelen, which that's cool. But a lot of people are saying that it's lacking in the deco department. I mean, yeah, when you look at it, the first IG-11 had like a nice like detailed like paint, like dark wash to it, where highlight some of the sculpted details. This doesn't have that. If you go back and look at images, or if you go rewatch the Mandalorian season 3, like, I mean, he looks like this, but he does have more detail. Like he does look a little bit more colorful, a little more, more details that stand out. So it just seems like that's kind of a pattern at this point, where we're seeing a little bit less detail across the board, not just in TVC, but Black Series, I think that's been the case for a little while now, but that's trickling down to TVC, and it's definitely having an effect, because I know I always say it, like the vintage collection is like, should be the gold standard for 3¾ inch, right? Star Wars. If it says the vintage collection on it, then as collectors, we expect that's going to be like the pinnacle of 3¾ inch, like ever, for the Star Wars brand. And when we see shortcuts like the paint, or just it being sold as a deluxe, when maybe it didn't need to be sold as a deluxe, it just makes it a little frustrating as a collector.
Yeah, totally. Because we've seen what they're capable of when they're at their best, and it's just. There's just vast differences with what we see, but I mean, at the end of the day, though, am I still going to get it? Yes. So, kind of comes down to that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it really put perspective too when Yakface put up the comparison between the Black Series one and this one, and it was just like he put it on his Instagram, and I was just like, wow, yeah, it's a tremendous difference. But the Black Series was just looked to be a lot better painted and just a lot better detailed.
Right. Yeah, no, I saw that too, and it was a little disheartening.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're getting the figure. I'm glad we're getting IG-12. I am Mandoed out. I don't think there's a whole lot else I need to see from the Mandalorian for like a long time. This would have been on my top 5, along with like Pelimato and probably Moff Gideon season 3, and Praetorian Guard in season 3, and Beskar Stormtrooper in season 3. I think those would be like the top 5. But beyond that, I'm pretty mantoed out. I don't really need anything else at this point other than those figures. I'm glad he's coming. But I am questioning like why he's deluxe. I am questioning why he's missing paint, if he is deluxe, especially. And yeah. Anyway, So I guess that for me, this kind of ties into a larger point, and it was mentioned here. Bob here mentioned the article that Chris at Van the Skull wrote, and I did read that. Basically, just asking like, hey, what's going on with the vintage collection? Like, why are things regressing in some respects? And I'll just pull up the I'll just pull up the article right here, just so everybody can see if they want to go and take a look at it later. Not right now while we're streaming, of course, but later. But yeah, so it's it looks a little bit sad. You're seeing the headstone of TVC. Like, when's it going to end? But yeah, I mean, the article was really good. And he basically talks about like, what's going on with TVC, why are we seeing like some step backwards? 2024 has been, we know that there's some great stuff coming. Like, there's the original 96, they're redoing A New Hope Luke. We got Leia, we got Vader, Stormtrooper. They're going to be doing Han Solo, Ben Kenobi, Chewbacca, and that's all well and good. The Cantina's coming next year, which is a huge milestone. But when you look at the year to year, like, it definitely seems like 2024 has taken a bit of a step backwards compared to previous years of the vintage collection, where the articulation, the selection, the character selections, the painted detail, the accessories were a little bit more balanced than what we've been seeing this year. And that's kind of what Chris goes into about this article is, he mentions also labor. It's almost as expensive to make a TVC figure as it is a Black Series figure. So, people are saying, why does this happen in Black Series but not TVC? Well, it always comes down to money, to budget, to cost. And Chris is just kind of pointing that out in this article, that's what's going on here. But I mean, it does make me think, like when I read things like this, it does make me kind of take a step back and kind of think about, like we mentioned it earlier with the Haslabs, like there's a finite amount of time and resources and attention for any given toy line, any given segment of a toy line. And, how much longer does the vintage collection have? If it's going to continue at the current price point, if it's going to continue with the small regressions that we've seen lately, will it go on for a long time? Will people start to lose interest and kind of cut back on their purchases, or will something change and will things get better and people want to buy more?
Right. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've definitely found this year, I found myself buying TVC figures a lot more to support the line and to support the community than me actually wanting them, if that makes sense. Which is kind of a weird thing when you actually think about it. Like I try to be as completionist of a card collector as I can with them, but like the whole wave with like I can't remember what it was called, but like the Mandalorian Captain or whatever it was called, and then I can't remember what was in the wave, which shows how much how little it made an impact on me. But I remember buying that whole wave. Oh, the beach ball Grogu, like that one, that wave.
Yeah.
And I was just, this whole thing, like I bought the whole wave, but I was just like, this is really just not that exciting at all to me. And I don't know, but it just felt like I was really just buying it to support the line and support the community because I want to do that. But like all of them, like all the ones I've displayed, none of them have a front row spot. Like they're all just kind of buried in the abyss somewhere back there in the pegs.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely, there's been some really cool things this year that I've been really excited for. The Cantina Haslab, the original 96, the main characters from A New Hope. Like, those are the most exciting things of the whole year.
Yeah, Dooku was this year, right?
Yeah, those
Dooku was awesome.
those couple prequel figures, Count Dooku, the Clone Trooper,
Yeah,
Jango Fett, like highlights for sure.
yeah.
But we didn't get enough of that, right? I mean, there were some really good things. There was like Ezra Bridger and Kanan Jarrus, top-notch figures.
Totally.
But then a lot of what we saw was lackluster, right? Like Mandalorian repaints,
Yeah,
various versions of Din Djarin, and then some very troubling retools that, I ranted about, I think, on last week's show.
Yeah.
Like Dead Romero and, them using like boy parts on her.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. And Thrawn, the new TVC Thrawn, they just reuse the old body that they've been using, which doesn't really work because the actor's like 6'4" or something, and the figure's like doesn't look like it's 6'4". So things like that, like when it comes to important characters, and I wouldn't even say that Dead Ramiro is an important character, but to me it's like about the messaging you're also sending from when you're doing that, right? Just to get a figure out there, taking those kind of a shortcuts. Like I always say I'd rather I'll wait another year, 2 years to get a character as a figure if it means it's going to be like a definitive version. But I know that at the same time we're talking about pricing and margins, and I doubt the margins on a TVC figure are very high, especially if they cost the same to make as Black Series. So I'm sure that's the reason for some of these shortcuts. But so it's like there's not a whole lot we can do. I know a lot of fans often complain, like, how can we convince Hasbro to give us more vintage collection? How can we convince them to do more every year? It's like, well, I don't really know what else we can do at this point. We supported the Haslabs. We've bought like complete waves. I always buy the waves on Entertainment Earth. Sometimes multiples if you can't really get every figure twice over, like I'll buy multiple cases. I mean, we talk about this every week, basically. So I mean, I don't know what much else we can really do, because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to their profit margins, and if it's not worthwhile for them to do, then as fans and collectors, our hands are kind of tied.
Right. And I guess this is a multifaceted question, but how much would you be willing to pay per figure for a baseline standard mainline TVC figure? But then B, would that actually solve the problem? Like, theoretically, like if we all agreed to pay more per figure, we're like, we'll go ahead and do this. Would that guarantee that they actually did fully newly tooled figures every single time? Or would they still do the same thing at a higher price because they could still increase their profit margin by still doing the reuse and all that? Like, would throwing more money at them actually solve the problem or no? It's like it would in theory, but it would actually do it.
Yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, if you raise the figures are already $16.99, right? When TVC came back, they were like what, $12.99, then $13.99, then $15.99. They're $16.99. And if you raise the price, you'd have to. They would have to be transparent and committing to the improvements they're going to make with the line. Otherwise, people are just going to drop off. They're going to see a price increase. Oh, $19.99 for a 3/4 inch TVC figure, like. That's going to be a bridge too far for a lot of people.
True.
But if they committed to like, hey, we have to increase the price. That's the only way this line's going to continue. If it doesn't, if we don't raise the price, it's got to go, or the quality is going to decline. But if we raise the price, these are the changes we would like to make in this line. We'd like to have more figures per year. We'd like to have improved sculpting. We'd like to have, less retools. More definitive versions of these characters, then I think they would stand a far better chance of creating something that's going to keep on going for longer. For me personally, I mean, it's tough because like we're saying, the Black Series, when those came out, those were $20. Now they're $25. So I mean, they've gone up a little bit, but it's been consistent across the board. Like. We haven't seen these increases as frequently as in the vintage collection. So if you're selling a $20 TVC figure and then you have a $25 Black Series figure, it doesn't matter how much better it is. I think you're automatically going to shut off, a good bit of the audience, just because of that size discrepancy between the two. So they would have to be very, very transparent, explaining like, hey, it costs almost the same for us to make both of these. It doesn't make sense for us to make TVC anymore. We're almost going to be losing money. So if we keep doing it, we have to do it at this price point, but you're also going to get this, you're going to get that. And the line's going to continue, for a longer period of time. I think reasonable, serious collectors that have been at this for a long time would probably understand that, and I think they would be more inclined to be okay with such a price increase.
Yeah, totally. And that's something like that. Just having that transparency from Hasbro would be incredible. Just to throw it out there and just let us know. But I totally agree. The TVC community would, for the most part, be on board with it and would honestly appreciate that level of transparency. But it's just something we rarely get. So
yeah, and that's a big problem. You know, I always applaud Hasbro for doing their live streams and their fan Q&As, which they're not really doing as many of those anymore, but you know, attending the trade shows like Comic-Con and Celebration and just being a presence out there. You know, I always give them props for doing that, for making themselves available to the community. I mean, we've had people like on this show from Hasbro and on podcasts and stuff, and you know, that's awesome. But I think where they lose a lot of people is just by the lack of transparency in some of the decisions that they make. Because if you talk to them, you know, just a casual person talks to them, you know, they're not going to give you a lot of information, you know, as far as any specific factors. But I mean, we all know, you know, I think a lot of us have been doing this long enough to understand that it all comes down to like pricing and budget. They're also being hit by these huge licensing fees from Disney, which that does not help anything, you know, it doesn't help the collector at all. And it doesn't help them because it encroaches on how much they can make off of a vintage collection figure. But I think if they were a little more transparent about some of these realities, I think a lot of collectors and fans that maybe don't understand the whole behind the scenes type thing would probably give them a little bit more slack and be a little more understanding of a lot of what we see.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Play-Doh or like, you know, a lot of these like brands that, you know, you know, people take the vintage collection seriously. I don't think anybody really buys this line that isn't like a collector of it at this point. So when it's a serious hobby and people are willing to spend all kinds of money on it, and, you know, they have spent all kinds of money on it, then I really think it is incumbent upon the company to be a little more direct with that consumer base.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's important. Just good relations, good practice.
Yeah. Definitely. Just gonna jump in here into the chat real quick and see what's being discussed here about this topic. Let's see. Pico Obi-Wan says, I honestly don't think they intended to keep 3/4 inch going. Definitely wasn't the deal they made with Disney. I don't know that they made a deal with Disney. I think they just, you know, they have the license to make this stuff for a period of time, and whatever the licensing fee is the licensing fee, right? That's like negotiated like when they go into this sort of thing. So I don't know what their intent was. I don't know that they thought in 2017 TVC would still be around in 2024. I'd be inclined to think probably not. But it is, and I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful that people are still supporting the line. William says, with the Black Friday deals on Entertainment Earth, canceling a bunch of pre-orders, including the sold out Luke and Snowtroopers, how can EE have them when they're sold out on Hasbro? Where are you canceling the pre-orders, William? Entertainment Earth gets a lot more stock than Hasbro Pulse does. Hasbro Pulse is small compared to Entertainment Earth. I wouldn't be able to speculate on the exact like fractional size, but Entertainment Earth is far bigger than Hasbro Pulse, which is just the retail side of Hasbro. And that's purposefully kept small because they don't want to undercut the sales they're making to other companies like Walmart, Target, Entertainment Earth, and so on. But yeah, so they sell more, they can stay in stock longer. TVC Dooku was a home run. Yeah, it definitely was one of the best figures of the year for sure. I'd put him in the top 5. Totally. I would also say that, you know, I know I talked about it to Hasbro back at Comic-Con. Like they had touted that 2024 was going to be not just the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace, but the 25th anniversary of the prequels. And we only got 3 prequel figures: Count Dooku, the Clone Trooper, and Jango Fett. Nothing from episode 1, which, I would say it should have been the main focus. It was the focus. I mean, not in TVC, the main focus of the prequels. Should have at least gone 1 or 2 figures, because it was very well celebrated in the retro collection in the Black series. But yeah, Dooku is perfect figure.
Yeah.
Hellrunner Base says next year looking like a bummer. I wouldn't say that. There isn't. You only have a snapshot of what's coming next year, but no, things are coming. Things are coming. Lorena says Dedra is a main POV character. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I think for that reason, they shouldn't have made the figure that they did in TVC. Because that thigh gap, I just can't get past that thigh gap. Man, it's horrible.
Yeah, and especially I just got the Black Series one. How good that looks, like in compared to the TVC ones. Like it's just such a shame the vast difference there with Dedra.
Yeah, I know. Even with Thrawn, when you look at him alongside the Black Series one, it's just like Black Series, like they nailed it. They could have done that for TVC. They could have done that.
Yep.
Pico V1, TVC price gouging is a tool they use to curb their slumping sales in Black Series. In the end, it's just going to cause more frustration. I wouldn't say I agree with that. I know that the margins are very, very, very small on TVC, even at $16.99. Very, very, very small. The profit is negligible, and I honestly don't think the Hasbro shareholders probably don't see any point in continuing TVC because of how small the margins are. But I think Hasbro knows how much it's loved and supported by fans, that they kind of have to keep it going at this point. But yeah, Black Series, definitely they can take more risks with Black Series because there's less of a profit. There's more of a profit margin there. And if there's a figure here and there that's not a hit, it's not the end of the world. Whereas in TVC, we're always like 1 or 2 figures away from the line ending if some really bad decisions are made, unfortunately. Cancel the Black Series. Easy thing. I mean, yeah. I'm not saying cancel the Black Series. I would never say that. But yeah, I mean, you could obviously, if you had only 1 figure line going, you could put all the money and R&D into that line. That's true. Adam says, I don't mind some repaints. I would love to see more consistency and quality. It must be depressing for them as fans to put out substandard repeats. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me, is that the consistency and quality that is it's true, Adam. I mean, you have figures like we were just saying, Count Dooku or Kanan Jarrus or Zeb, or one of these really great figures that we've gotten this year.
Even
and then you
Leia.
get something like yeah. And then you get something like Thrawn or Dedra or just some of like these Mando repaints, right? That you get a Mandalorian with a blaster but no holster to put it in. They've done this multiple times this year. It just makes it like frustrating that the consistency is just all over the place. Like I said earlier, TVC it's a brand, right? It's a name. It's a recognized brand. It's a historical brand because it carries that heritage all the way back to 1978, and it deserves to be top tier at this point. And seeing those shortcomings, it's not helpful, but it also, if you are a longtime collector, it's kind of a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah. I mean, that style of figure literally put toy collecting as we know it on the map.
Totally.
With the original figures. Yeah.
Grant's Galaxy says, when a toy line has an internet community and it's not doing well, it's not a good sign. I mean, it depends. I mean, I think it really, there's several factors involved. I mean, the enthusiasm for TVC is there. I don't think it's gone away. I think it's only increased in recent years. But what hasn't increased is the character selection, at least in the last year, the quality of the paint, that kind of thing, the retooling we're talking about, the kit bashing we're talking about. So that's not a good sign. But again, all comes back to money. Pico B115 is my price ceiling, to be honest. Yeah, some people have price ceilings. I mean, yeah, I don't. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, every collector is different, right? I think it if you're not feeling like you're getting what you're paying for, that's going to be the ultimate driver, whether or not something is successful in terms of sales. Um, $17 a $17 Kanan Jarrus compared to a $17 Mandalorian Judge. I mean, one of them you're definitely getting your bang for your buck, in my opinion. The other you're not. So, uh, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Allison says when they keep doing repaint after repaint at 14, that's when I stepped out. At the current point, only buy very specific figures. And yeah, that's a way to do it too. That as is always said, speak with your wallet. Transparency is key, especially for this community. Absolutely. Charlie says economic headwinds in 2025 will likely end them. Maybe we'll wait and see what happens. I mean, it's hard to say at this point, but we'll see. We will see. Mary says, on the bright side, I love the bright sides. The ghost looks fantastic, and I'm excited for it. Yes. So there was that that video that they put up of the ghost being unboxed, and yeah, I'm glad we're finally getting some communication, because I had this thing running for a while, Joe, where I was like, okay, now we're 187 days without an update on the ghost. And just like every week I would make it longer, because that's how long we were going without an update on the ghost. But I'm glad that they're finally being a little more, again, transparent. It's a key word tonight, I guess, about what's going on with something we paid for well over a year ago at this point, and are all very eager and excited to get. So yeah, the unboxing was cool. It's great to see it, and yeah, can't wait to get it. After that Thigh Gap episode, I kept looking at everyone at Thigh Gap. Oh man, I think you're going to start a trend here, Lorena. How Runner Base's Black Series has been fire lately. Keep them coming. They've been doing really good. I'm not. I do buy some Black Series. I'm not totally opposed to buying Black Series. Just like Jason from Yakface buys all the Black Series, he buys all the TVC. If there's something in TVC that's not available or say in Black Series that's not available in TVC, then I'm inclined to usually buy that kind of a thing. Yeah. Or if it looks great in the Black Series, I'll buy that kind of thing. Hammerhead, yes, give me Hammerhead in Black Series. The Acolyte figures, I picked those up. I got some of the recent Ahsoka ones too.
Nice.
Like Thrawn and the Ahsoka the White, and somebody else from that wave that I can't remember right now. But yeah, they have been doing a pretty, again, paint here and there. It's kind of a little sporadic, but sculpting on Black Series is definitely better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyway. Now we're 5 days without an official ghost update. Yeah. We're gonna keep. I guess we're gonna have to keep doing this until the ghost actually makes its way into our collections, and then every day we'll have an update, because we'll just go over to our ghosts and reposition a figure or something. Yeah. Yeah, I know Lorena really wants Duchess Satine, and that she'll probably come in Black Series first. Yeah, probably that's what would happen. Yeah. Yeah. I think, Lorena, you need to start a campaign for Duchess Satine. I really do. Like for some of the other campaigns for General Merrick from Rogue One, and the Tonica sisters and Velkin Tiziri. I think you need to start one for Duchess Satine. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. That'd be an incredible figure.
It would. Yeah. Totally would. Brett says Dark Side Ray and Lightsabers droopy. Mick, not cool. I like the droopy Mikkel reference. Yeah, I know I have that figure. I don't remember having issues with the saber. I know I gave Hasbro a hard time about the saber because it was inaccurate. I know at one of those shows, I was like, hey, in the film, it looks like Kylo Ren's lightsaber because it's got the like the sizzling thing, right? But the final figure didn't have a saber like that. And they're like, no, Victoria, you're wrong. It looked like a normal saber in the movie. I'm like, no, it didn't. I seen the movie. It didn't look like that. But anyway, yeah, Lorena, let's do it. Duchess Satine supports Satine. All right, cool. We're gonna go ahead and be a little less depressive for a few minutes because we haven't talked about the new lightsaber, the Balin Skull lightsaber, that is. So it's gonna pull that up. So Hasbro has been doing their Force Effects Elite line for a long time now. They've released multiple sabers, and they pipelined earlier this year the Balin Skull lightsaber. So this is the packaging here. Looks like it's going to have the orange blade, which is great. If it had red, that would be really, really sad. So thankfully they got that detail right here. Yeah, and I mean, it looks good. I don't know that these are actual like, I don't know if these are digital renders or if this is like an actual product that looks like really like weird, but the design looks good. They usually do a good job with the Force Effects Elite. They're definitely, I would say, leagues beyond what Disney legacy lightsabers generally are. Not always, but oftentimes. I know the exception, the consensus seems to be that the Sabine Wren lightsaber was just not good, just because it's like really, really, really big and bulky compared to the Disney legacy one. I haven't picked it up because of that. So I don't know if I will. But hopefully this one is in better scale. I know it was it looked like it was a bigger hilt in the show. So I don't know. I guess when people start doing reviews and getting it in hand, we'll have a better idea of the size. But as far as we can tell, it looks nice. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty well done sculpt. Detail looks good. They usually do a really good job with these sabers, so I'm not really concerned about any issues. But of course, I thought the same thing about the Sabine saber, and we saw how that turned out. Some are better than others, for sure. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series saber was great. The Luke Jedi saber was great. Dark saber was nice. A little troublesome, like having to disassemble it and all. But by and large, they do a pretty good job with them. The Yoda was great, but they're not all hits, right? So it'll remain to be seen what happens with this one here.
Yeah, this is a definite pick up for me. I really like it.
Do you pick up many of the Force Effects Elites, or do you pick and choose with them, or what's your strategy?
I get most of them, but honestly, they all always end up going on sale. So I pretty much wait till they all go on sale, to be honest, and I buy them. Yeah. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 Force FX Black Series sabers. I have the Ahsoka set from the Galaxy's Edge ones, the 2, and then I arguably have 12 of the Black Series ones because I have both sides. I have 2 of the Mauls to make it the complete like double bladed one. So I buy most of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been into them too for a really long time. Back during the Master Replicas days, like 2005, that's when I started picking up the Force FXs. But I throughout the years after Hasbro got the license, they did their own thing with it, and I have a few of those. But yeah, the Elites, they're nice for the most part. I think they do a really good job with the actual sculpting, and I think part of that is because Chris Reif, from the design team, he's he wrote a book about lightsabers back in the 90s. Like he's very cute into like the aesthetic differences on the different sabers. Nice. But yeah, I don't think he does all of them, or I don't know how much input he has, because again, we had things like the Sabine Wren saber, which was kind of weird. But I do pick up most of them. I haven't gotten all of them. I think right now you mentioned that they go on sale a lot, and that is true. Like eventually they usually do. The Ahsoka one is like $100 off right now, or $90 off on Amazon for Black Friday right now.
Yeah, so is the Sabine. So it's
Yeah.
I haven't done either. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have the two pack of the Ahsoka sabers from the ones they did for the Ahsoka show from Disney.
Nice.
I never opened it, so I don't know if I've watched videos, and I guess the Black Series ones may be a little bit better overall, but then again, you only get one, right? So it's like trade-offs, right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, this chat, what we're talking about right now, will tie in to our new acquisitions a little bit later. Spoiler alert. But yeah. So there is that. What else do we got here? Let's see. All right. I wanted to talk about TVC playsets for a little bit, and I'm digging your Greedo mug there. It's really cool.
Thank you.
It's nice.
Don gave it to me.
Nice. That's awesome. Are you guys getting? Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. How Runner Base Gunji Saber. I completely forgot about Gunji Saber. So yes, let me pull that up. Gunji Saber. So Gunji is, of course, the Wookiee Padawan in Clone Wars. We see him again in Bad Batch. She's a little bit older. Probably not that much older, because we know Wookiees live to be how many hundreds of years old. But yeah, so Disney just put out Gunji Saber through the parks. And this was their brand new like Life Day release, and I'm assuming because Gunji's a Wookiee that Life Day, somehow like there's a connection there, right? So bit of a stretch, but not so much of a stretch that they couldn't put out a lightsaber for it. But yeah, so just trying to find an image here of it. I'm going to pull it up right here. So this is the legacy version of Gunji's lightsaber. I love all the ads on here. Fun stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to pick this one up, but what about you, Joe? How are you feeling about the Gunji saber?
So I might like it, and this is a question maybe the chat knows. My issue with the Galaxy's Edge sabers is, in the essence of the way I display mine, but I use like broom, like wall mount handles to display my sabers, and like the blades fit perfectly in them. So I have them vertically hanging on the wall, but it bothers me if the blade is not the same length as the Black Series ones. So with that, does anybody know? I noticed they used to have a 26 and a 36 inch blade, but now they have a 31. Does anybody know if the 31 inch blade is like what the Black Series sabers are? Because that's a huge factor. Like, I just like the symmetry of that.
I think the Black Series are closer to 36 inches.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Disney does do. I don't know if they still do the 26 inch, but they did, and then they have like the 31 inch one. That's the one that you get when you build your own lightsaber in the parks.
Okay.
And then they also have the 36 inch full size blade. And all of those would work with most of these, like 90% of these lightsabers.
Yeah.
They work with.
So I want to get it if I can make it like symmetrical on the wall, because that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty OCD, and that would bug me.
Right.
Yeah,
I do love the hilt.
It looks nice. It's not made of wood. It looks like it's wood, but it's not. It's plastic. And it's not 100% accurate. I mean, they did make, they did take some liberties in the design. So it looks fairly close. It looks like Gunji Saber, but it's they did make some concessions in order to accommodate their electronics and such. Howard Runner Blaze just display them without the blades. Yeah, that's what I do. I just play them without the blade, just because I don't have a ton of room. Like, I'd love to mount them on the wall. I just don't have a ton of room to do that. So I have them. The ones that I have on display, I do have them just the hilts. But
yeah, I have some of the older Black Series ones where the blade doesn't come out, so it's
right,
just indefinitely glued to having them like that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gunji Saber. So thank you for the reminder. There's Gunji Saber. I want to talk about vintage collection playsets because I spent like last weekend, a good chunk of last weekend, working on my own vintage collection playsets, like reorganizing them, just making them look, making them look a lot better. And I'm going to pull up some pictures here on my phone that I have. I took a few pictures to kind of go along with this chat here. But yeah, I mean the playsets they've been doing them since, what was the first one? Was it the Tana V4 playset? Is that the first one they did?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think it was that, right? And then it was the Bespin
the carbon
chamber.
freeze. Yeah.
Yeah, carbon freeze chamber, and then it was the Navarro Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was
the
indoor.
Jabba's
Oh yeah, you're right.
Palace
I think you're right. Yeah, the Jabba's was the first one. The Jabba's Palace.
Yeah.
You're right. That was the first one. And then they did the indoor bunker later, and then they did the recently just came out the Moff Gideon's what is it, Star Destroyer or Light Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, so play sets. These work perfect for TVC because TVC is the world building scale, and if you're going to make a play set, I think these do a really good job at accentuating a collection and a display. So anyway, I spent a good chunk of last weekend organizing these, setting up more of these, because I got the new one. I got the Light Cruiser, and I got two of them, and I started setting it up, and I was like, oh wow, like this is really nice. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the play sets, I guess. So I guess I should ask you first, Joe. Do you have these play sets? Do you set them up in your own collection?
Yes, I do. I have I got this way. So I got quite a few down there. Yeah. So I do. I don't have either of the new ones yet. The Light Cruiser or the Armorer's Forge. I don't have either of those yet, but yeah, I love the play sets.
The Armorer's Forge, that's the other one that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just dumping stuff on us again. The Armorer's Forge, I will say, is a little disappointing. Not because of what it is. Like, it's weird because it doesn't snap together. Like the top part of it just kind of hangs there. Like if you move it, it kind of just like wobbles. Like it doesn't feel very secure. So it's a little strange, and there's not a lot of paint on it either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird one. It's not really a play set. It's like a play piece and an environmental piece. It's not really a play set. I think that's kind of a stretch to call that one a play set. And then yeah, we have the Mos Eisley Streets of Mos Eisley coming out next year, which looks awesome too.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've been really into these like setting these up, and I had them on the shelf. I did a collection display video last year.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is what I did with my Light Cruiser play set. So it comes with quite a few pieces, and they snap together and place pretty well. So with part of it, I recreated some Mandalorian season 2 moments here, and I had a lot of fun. I haven't shown these photos anywhere, so of course, social hour, you guys are getting them first before they make their way onto social media or whatever else. Yeah, so I did that with the first half of it. And then it also comes with a second piece. Not really a second piece, because it just depends on how you choose to use them. But with the other pieces that come with it, I was able to put together this iconic moment here.
Nice.
With that part of it. So you get 2 doorways with this one, which is nice. And with the second smaller doorway, I did this with Luke and the Dark Troopers, and there was room on the side to put the rack for the Dark Troopers. Put a few of the racks anyway. So I set that up. But yeah, it was really nice that this gave me like the ability. It made me think of the Tana V4 playset, because that one you could do like the thing with Leia, like in the back, like in the shadows, or you could do the thing with. Here, Carl, I'm going off somewhere. It's not mine. Or you could do the thing with some of the other with like Vader and the stormtroopers and such. And the same was true here with this play set. Was you could do a couple different moments, which I really appreciated, because even if you just buy the play set once, you could do what I did, because this is really just using one playset. I didn't really use the other. I may have used like one little piece like off to the side, but it was nice that you were able to do that. So I guess I just wanted to say that this playset is fun, and it really goes quite a bit to adding some atmosphere to your shelves, because I could have just had these on the shelf, and I did have them on the shelf, but I could have just kept them there. But this little environmental piece goes like a long way to accentuating those displays. So yeah, Hasbro, keep giving us these play sets, because they are a blast.
Yeah. And I love the fact that they've been doing them with such variability at how you set them up and display them like that. Like even with the Streets of Mos Eisley one, and even the Cantina, how they made it like modular like that. Like that is a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, it's fun. For one wall, the wall on the left, what I had to do is I put the floor of the second playset that I bought. I put the floor on the side just because I didn't want to leave it without a wall. So it kind of works. It's kind of weird, but it also works. But yeah, so I started I was like, I set that up, and then I ended up just redoing the whole shelf, because I have all of these like on one shelf all together. So I just I kind of just kept running with it, basically. So then I did, next to it, I did the Tana V4 place that I reconfigured that. So I set it up with, like half of it Vader and Stormtroopers and some Rebels. And then the other half I did Princess Leia and R2. But it's just a lot of fun. Like, I mean, and the cool thing about these is you can keep going back and tweaking the shells and moving things around and just kind of playing with it and making it your own, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. Here's the Princess Leia part of it right here.
Oh, nice. That looks so good.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And yeah, one thing you can't really tell from this picture, and I probably, yeah, I kind of have a better picture here. I'll go ahead and airdrop this over. One thing that got cut out is that you can see this one rebel trooper just kind of waiting for Vader and the troopers to catch up with him in between the two moments.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, and the little there's like little orange pieces on either side of the walls. Those actually came from the Moff Gideon light cruiser playset. Like, they're meant to cover these little bumps on the Moff Gideon set, and kind of give it the look of lights. And they actually fit perfectly on the 10v4 playset too. So that's where I ended up putting my spares.
Nice.
Yeah. So let me look over there. So the other one that I have on this wall, which kind of ties this whole thing together, is because one side you have Mandalorian, then you have the Tana V4. Well, the other side it goes back to Mandalorian once again. So I already had this on the shelf, but I had to reconfigure it to get all of this stuff to fit. So I ended up putting the Navarro Cantina on the other side, and just just to kind of keep them flowing, keep the scenes flowing on the shelf. Because like I said earlier, space is at a premium in my collection room, and I try to cram all these moments onto the shelf just to kind of give me the maximum amount of what's visible.
Yeah. Yeah, so I actually did something completely off the grid with my Navarro Cantina. I made like a functioning bar, like a functioning cantina, and I got Dexter Jetster bartending. Watto is taking orders, and then I made it very like droid heavy, like the patrons, because like every bar in Star Wars are like not letting droids in. So it's like the Mandalorian season 3 where all the droids are in the bar. Like I kind of made like a bunch of like droids hanging out in the bar, but I did like a little abstract thing with mine. But yours looks so good. And
Thanks.
yeah, what's that like transparent like rod to the right?
I
It
saw
looks like a
Lorena mentioning
cylinder.
the slumped
Oh my,
over droid, so I had to had to put
that's
the spotlight
great.
in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's been shot. He's been shot. Okay, so what's the
There's like
right
a cylinder to the right.
I will show you. I need to airdrop another photo over. So that is going to be this right here. It is that's the N1 is on top of that.
Nice. That's so cool.
Yeah, I try to do that like wherever I can, just because again I'm trying to maximize what's on display.
Mm-hmm.
And I've for a long time I've used like acrylic like stands in just different scenes just to kind of put extra stuff up or make a spaceship look like it's hovering or whatnot. But
Nice.
it's yeah, it's the N1, which is also a Black Friday thing right now. It's like $79 or something, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Nice. That looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm not going to show it here, but I redid the entire top shelf above that, which was, well, I really did kind of, I've done 90%. I had to redo it because I started putting my Batmobiles on that shelf on the bottom. So I had to actually remove some 3¼ inch Star Wars stuff. But in doing that, I kind of condensed a little bit. So everything's looks a little more full. But yeah, so I did do a collection video. I saw somebody asking if there's a collection. William was asking, is there a collection room video? So I did do one in January. That was the first ever collection room tour I've ever done. And I know I said at the time, it's probably the only one I ever will do because it's 90 minutes long and it took me months to do it. Just because I kept changing the shelves and having to go back and refilm things. It was just like, it took forever. But I have done some pretty substantial updates in the last few months and I will continue with the ghosts coming out and stuff. So I probably will do a follow-up to that video, probably over the holiday Christmas break. I'll probably film another one. I love how the destiny of that one figure was to be face down corpse in Victoria's display. The Rebel Trooper, yeah. He's dead. He got shot by somebody, I don't know who, stormtrooper, that didn't have a bad aim. Oh, thank you, Lorena. A vlogger, content creator, musician, toy photographer. Yeah, I do it all. And that's not counting all the other stuff I find myself doing, for better or for worse. I like to torture myself, I guess. Yeah, cool. No, thank you guys. Thanks, Mary. Premium sand. Ooh, talking about the Armor's Forge, I think. Premium, yes, very premium. Like, yeah. Not I think I have it like right here somewhere. I can, oh yeah, here it is. Go ahead and grab it. Had it here off to the side. Yeah, so this is it. And I guess I could be saving it for the new acquisitions, but I'll just show it now because we're talking about play sets. Yeah, so this top part, like, it doesn't snap in. It just like you put it like that, and then it just like rests on top. So it just like wobbles. It doesn't really secure. So I put upside down, it's just gonna fall off.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like that. The bottom stays in place. The bottom's good, but for whatever reason, they made the top like so it doesn't snap in place. And I really don't get why they did that. I can't think of any reason at all for them to have done that.
Yeah.
I like the Bantha skull or the Mythosaur skull detail there. That's fun. And this little flame thing is actually pretty neat. Because if you set it up right, here, I'll turn on the flashlight on my phone. If you put a light under it, actually makes it look like the flames are on.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a neat detail. if you were to put a light in that little
Nice.
space under there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um,
Similar to how they did the stairs on the Bestman playset.
right.
That's cool.
But it's not. I mean, it's not really a playset though. It's a piece. It's like a display piece. It's like an environmental piece. It's not a playset.
Yeah.
And it costs the same as the playsets, which is a little perplexing. Like the Moff Gideon thing is a way better than this, and it costs the same exact price.
That is interesting. How do you like the new armor figure that came with it?
I really like the new armor figure that came with it.
Nice.
I mean, it's essentially the same figure, but the paint is way better, and the soft goods little cape that she has is way better too.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's a much better offering than the first time around, and that place that it also comes with her tool box, like this little toolbox that opens up, and you could put it comes with 3 Mandalorian helmets, which is pretty neat, and then it comes with some like her tools that she uses to make the to make the stuff make the Beskar pieces. Yeah, the helmets are nice though. Like that was actually surprising to me because you can put them on figures and like kit bash your own Mandalorians.
Wow, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, you just have to reuse the bodies we have, like those. But you can make your own, kind of make your own Mandalorians, sort of.
Nice.
Yeah, so I will give them props for that. Living, breathing collection. That's what I always say. It's a living, breathing collection. It evolves, it changes. So maybe an update video is warranted. You guys look like Shin Hati and Obi-Wan. That is hilarious. That's a first. Cool. Well, anything you want to add about playsets, Joe?
I just hope they keep them coming, and that seems to be a good way they can make up cost, to be honest. So, like, Hasbro, if you're watching, we will buy them. Do that. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
We will absolutely buy them. I want more playsets. They're great. They add a lot to the collection. They really do. Like, I'm more into these lately than like vehicles. The vehicles are fun. I love vehicles, but vehicles take up a lot of space. These play sets can be integrated into your existing shelf displays where you're already putting all your figures. So, and they just bring them to life. So yeah, please, Hasbro, keep them coming. Keep them coming, and definitely make sure you do it.
Do it.
All right. Very good. So yes, Trevor, more playsets, more creatures. Definitely more creatures. We need the dewback. We need another Wampa, Banthas, Sarlacc. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. All right. So Joe, if you'll indulge me for just a moment here, I mentioned at the top of the show that I was going to be debuting a brand new track from my upcoming album, Sounds of the Cantina.
Yeah.
And if it's okay with you, I'd like to go ahead and play that now. It hasn't been played anywhere. This is the first time. And if anybody's been watching the channel for the last several years, it may sound familiar. Again, these songs are songs that I created with the intent of using them on my videos, on my podcasts, and such. So it may sound familiar. Hopefully we don't lose drop too many viewers from playing the song. But I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. So this song is called Fighter Jet. It will be officially released on probably on Monday. I've been doing Tuesdays. I'll probably release it on Monday. Yeah, so this song is called Fighter Jet. And I mean, I live in San Diego. I live where the Top Gun movies were largely filmed and created. And we have these fighter jets that are always flying overhead to this day. We have Navy base here, and the Navy SEALs train here. And we almost every day you have these fighter jets going overhead. So I wanted to create something that felt like that, felt like the energy of a fighter jet, felt like that nostalgic, all American, like GI Joe, like F-14, like kind of feeling. So I am premiering this for the first time anywhere. This song is called Fighter Jet, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just sit here awkwardly while this song plays in the background, I guess. But I hope you guys enjoy my new song, Fighter Jet. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. Here we go.
Viper 1, taking cover. Lab 4, visit point 0923. Move in.
There we go.
Nice.
Thank you. So that's Fighter Jet. It is coming out. It'll be available on all the usual Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Google, all those places on Tuesday. So thank you guys for indulging that for just a moment. I wanted to make sure you guys heard it here first on Cantina Social Hour before it went up anywhere else, because I was not doing a show next Friday. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to properly premiere it and give a little bit of background on the tune. And thank you guys for nice words. I do see your comments on here, and yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Yeah, I tried to not sit too awkwardly, but thank you. Anybody watching on the replay is going to wonder, like, huh, what? But yeah, no, I'm excited, you guys. This album is I'm putting a a lot of time. Some of these songs are really old. Like I've been working on them since like 2018, like a long time, but like I'm still putting so much time, like lengthening them, making them perfect, remastering them, and all that stuff. So yeah, December 3rd, you guys, December 3rd, we will be here for the album release party. Anyway, that'll take us to the final segment of tonight's show. And that is new acquisitions, brand new things that we've been adding to our collections recently. Anything new that has come in since the last show, basically, in my case, is what we're going to focus on next.
Good. New acquisitions.
All right. So my friends here in the chat, those who are watching, let us know what you've added to your collections as of late. And we will call them out at the end. So please share what you've been buying, what's been arriving on your doorstep. And Joe, I always let the guests go first. Do you have anything you'd like to show and tell about us that you've recently gotten?
Sure. I got a few things actually recently. I got the Dedra Black Series figure. It's excellent. And then also I also collect Funko Pops. There was a Kylo Ren Funko Pop that they did that was exclusive for New York Comic Con. It's excellent. By far my favorite Kylo Funko so far. So I got that. That looked great. And then I recently got 3 Hot Toys. So I took advantage of their Black Friday sale. And interestingly, I'm really glad I did because sometime this week they took 5% off of what the sales were, meaning they added 5% of the price back on there. So like a lot of figures that were 35% off, they're now 30% off and so on. I don't know if they do that every year, like week by week, but I was glad I picked them up when I did. But I got the Tusken Raider Hot Toys. It's excellent. And then I got the Clone Wars Anakin. And then it was the spend $300 and you get the free whatever. So at the time I did it, it was the Boba Fett, like the messed up armor one from The Mandalorian. That one was even better than I was expecting. Like, I'm really happy I got that, but I really like all 3 of those. So I can actually show them. I can have to take everybody for a ride. So
yeah, take us for a ride. Here, I'm going to put you on solo layout.
Not a lot of motion sickness going on. Actually, let me see if I can turn my camera around. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. So we're gonna do it this way. But yeah, Dedra's right there. The Black Series.
Note that gap.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the Boba is there.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a cool pose.
Yeah, he came out great. And then I actually put the Anakin with that's an Ahsoka like statue.
Mm-hmm.
So I put him with her, and then I got the Tusken on the bottom, just kind of crouching, chilling down there.
Nice.
So came out great. And then the Kylo is behind the bar here, but he's right around here. So yeah.
Cool.
But I think that's really cool. So yeah. So those are what I got going on, the newer things. And then I'm eyeballing some of the just some of the Black Friday sales. And it's tricky sometimes though, because nowadays their Black Friday sales are like a week long. Like you never know if they're going to go like on sale more, you know?
Yeah.
So you don't know like when's the right time to like pull the trigger on stuff. But I do have a couple carts going, but I just haven't finished the deal yet. But that's what I got. How about you?
Awesome. Yeah, no, those are great pickups for sure. And yeah, I agree with what Charlie's saying here that the Tusken is definitely underrated. It really is. It's a great figure.
Totally.
And yeah, it is cool. They're giving away a free figure with every $300 in stock purchase because they started doing that with the Dark Trooper, and then it was the Boba Fett that you showed us, and now it's the Mandalorian and Grogu. And yeah, I have some stuff in my cart, and I'm just waiting to see like what's next. Like, because I mean, I have a Mandalorian. I didn't have that Boba, but I have like from the end of where we see him for the first time with like where he repaints the armor in the Mandalorian season 2.
Nice.
So I'm waiting to see what's next. Like, if they do maybe the Darth Maul from Clone Wars, like maybe that'll push me over the edge, because I used to have that figure and I actually wasn't very happy with it, so I let it go. But for free, I mean, I would take it again. So maybe if they do that, I'll be pushed over the edge and have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I do have some stuff. Of course, I have some stuff. All right, let's start with Jurassic World, because Jurassic is one of my absolute passions, of course. And I finished watching Chaos Theory season 2, and it was just exceptionally good. So much better than the last 2 Jurassic movies. I don't know how that's even possible, but it is. So I got some stuff for that movie, for that show, Chaos Theory season 2. I'll start here with, it is really dark, like down here, like at the bottom part of my desk. I'm trying to grab everything. Okay, I'll start with this here. So this is a Target exclusive, I believe. Well, maybe it's not Target exclusive. I've only seen it at Target, but I got this set right here from the show, and this one has a figure and a couple of dinos. It's got Ben, one of the main characters on Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. It comes with a Dilophosaurus, and it comes with an Atrociraptor. Which, we've gotten a lot of Atrociraptors lately, so I don't really need the dino. I bought it mostly for Ben, because this is the only way to get the Ben figure. But I didn't stop there. Target's running really good sales on Jurassic right now.
Oh, nice.
So I also picked up this playset, which is kind of somewhat similar. It's got some dinos in an action figure. So this one has Darius right there. And then it has a few dinos. I think the dinosaurs in this set are better than the other set. Like, I like having the Carnotaurus in those colors, like more film accurate colors. And then there's also a Dimorphodon, and there is a Sticky Moloch. But I also like that Darius comes with like this contraption. It reminds me of the old Kenner Jurassic Park toys, like that kind of net launching thing. So there's that. And then I got a couple more Jurassic things. So they've been building up their Legacy collection. Now they're doing the Legacy collection reimagined, and they recently came out with this right here. So it's a little playset. It's meant to be Kenner inspired, and so basically it has a little pilot right there, and then it has a little helicopter, like a really tiny helicopter, and then it has an Atrociraptor that's painted like in this really bright, ridiculous red color. But yeah, it's a neat little set. So I like it. I'm looking forward to opening it.
Nice.
And this is probably my favorite one for the Jurassic stuff. I got the new reimagined Carnotaurus.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, so it's meant to look like the old Kenner toy from the 90s. And they did a nice job with it.
I could display great with the Darth Maul. That's awesome.
I know, right? And he's got the real feel skin, so he's kind of soft feeling. And then it has also this like roaring like button on the top. So it makes some nice dinosaur sounds. Yeah, and it looks great. I love the Kenner throwback look to it. It's really nice sculpt, really nice toy.
Nice.
And I can't wait to get it on the shelf. The only thing I will say is one thing I do like what they're doing with these, but I wish on the back that they took the Kenner approach and made like a diorama like Kenner used to do. Like a diorama with the figures and the dinosaur and all that stuff. Because that was one of my favorite things about the Kenner Jurassic Park toy line, is they did that kind of thing with it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into some Star Wars. So I've been buying stuff off DisneyStore.com because they've been running like ridiculous sales. So I picked up this DJ Rex from Galaxy's Edge. I have the big one, but I wanted the small one too because it was only like $17 or something ridiculous. So I haven't pulled the little pull cord yet, so I haven't heard what it says exactly, but probably will do that soon. I did pick up the one they released of Captain Rex earlier this year. So this will go alongside with it. And this is called the Power Force line. And they have some other things in that line too. Let's see, what else do I got? I got from DisneyStore.com also. I got this. This one was not on sale, but they had it, so I wanted to get it. I got the Black Series, Yoda, and Commander Gree.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a really exciting one because, you know, I love it when they do prequel figures in Black Series. And the Yoda looks really cool. I love the interchangeable head. The Commander Gree looks nice too. I really actually like the look of him in that kind of outfit. Color outfit's really cool. So neat little set there. And then two somewhat bigger purchases that I made lately. And these are also from DisneyStore.com. So the first one, this one was released in a 3-pack earlier this summer. And then now they're releasing it, or they have released it by itself. So I got a new lightsaber from the Legacy line. We'll go ahead and open this up. This is Anakin's Episode 2 lightsaber.
Nice.
Yeah, so I you know, Anakin's my favorite character, so I usually, if it's his lightsaber or Luke's saber, I have to pick it up. And I didn't buy that 3-pack because I already had the Revenge of the Sith Anakin saber that came in it. But so I was able to get it by itself now. But yeah, it's a nice looking hilt. I haven't taken off these stupidly big stickers yet. I don't know why they're so big. But yeah, it really does look nice. They did a good job with it.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so this top part is chrome, and this is like brushed aluminum or steel. Now, technically, I'm gonna be one of those people. Technically, this whole thing should be chrome.
Yeah.
But you know, Disney Legacy, they have a tendency sometimes to skimp on the materials on some of these sabers. Hasbro doesn't usually do that, but Disney does. And unfortunately, they didn't make it chrome; they made it aluminum. Except for the top. For whatever reason, the emitter is the correct chrome color. But yeah, it looks like Vader's saber, basically, but it's not. It's Anakin's from Episode 2. And I do have a blade right here.
Nice.
I think this is the 26-inch blade because we were talking about blade size earlier.
Okay. Nice.
So I'll just pop this in real quick. And we will turn this on.
Nice.
One thing I don't like about it is the shutoff is very, very abrupt. Like too abrupt. Check it out. Like it
Wow.
It's weird. Like it just like, it doesn't even, the light doesn't even go all the way down. It just like comes to here and then it shuts off. But it's not just mine. Like I looked on YouTube and they're just like, it's just the way it's designed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of weird, but whatever. I don't buy these for the electronics because the electronics really aren't that good on these. I buy them because it's, you know, for the lightsaber prop. Lightsaber.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna put this back in the box. So yeah, I was very happy to get that. I hope they released the Darth Vader Revenge of the Sith one because that's my favorite Vader hilt, Revenge of the Sith one that we never saw on screen, but they made a prop for it. So there's that. That one cost me regular price. It wasn't on sale because it is a newer release.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I did not get a lightsaber on sale from DisneyStore.com because I did. Right here.
Nice. Kanan?
Well, not quite Kanan, but same time frame roughly. I haven't even opened it up. I took the tape off earlier, but I haven't even looked at it. So we'll do that.
Nice. Oh, nice.
This is Cal Kestis.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Dang, this thing's heavy. All right, let's see here. Ooh, oh man, this is like the heaviest saber ever.
That's really cool.
It's cool. Dang, it's fat. It's super fat, like really wide. I know I had heard that it was like really like oversized, like compared to the video game, but this is really big. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I love Cal Kestis, so it's like whatever. Hasbro's probably not going to make one, so you know. And I have bought sabers from other companies that, you know, like Corbanth. It does like the NeoPixel, but you can't do that for every lightsaber, right? Because they're too expensive. But for something like this, it's fine. Let's see. We take the little piece out of the top. We'll throw this blade in here. I haven't heard what this sounds like, but we can do that together here.
Are the sounds of these overall pretty accurate from what you know?
From what I understand, yeah, like Disney does a pretty good job of making sure the sounds are fairly accurate. Not like one of those other like third-party companies, but
Yeah.
you know, fairly decently. I don't know how to turn this thing on. I guess one of the drawbacks of not testing it out before going live. Oh, there's a little piece of tape right here. Unscrew the bottom to replace batteries. Okay, that's not going to help me out here. We are live, you guys, and I don't know how to turn on this lightsaber. It has buttons on it. I just don't know which. Oh, here we go. Push up. Oh, wow. That shuts even more abruptly off.
It is cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Again, I don't buy these for the tech, but I buy them for having the lightsaber hilt. Because I like my lightsaber hilts. I used to do, when I was a kid, I used to like illustrate like my own like designs. And I always thought, what if one day I like actually machined one into a real thing? But as of yet, I've not done that. Probably never will at this point. But anyway, slip this back in the box. Yeah, pretty cool. And I think it has another piece in there where you can make it look battle damage, like on the bottom, like in the game. Which I still need to play the second game. I still haven't played it because I don't have a console to play it on. But yeah, anyway, those are my acquisitions this week.
Very cool.
And yeah. So we'll go ahead and take a look in the chat, see what other people have added to their collections, our Cantinians. Let's see what they've got. Let's see here. Lots of acquisitions, it looks like. Yes, commence new acquisitions. Grant's Galaxy says Jod Nawood, worst name in all of Star Wars history. Yeah. Britt says that she got Jod Na also. Nicholas picked up the Droid Factory R2S4M at Disney Store sale. Nice. I don't remember which one that is. I'm sure I have it. I just don't like, they have weird names, those Disney droids. Charlie got the Godzilla -1 4K Hot Toys 1/6 IG-11 on extreme sale and points. Very nice. Pico B1 got more stuff on the way. More Jada Street Fighters and the Jetpack Troopers coming tomorrow. Only one in my top 10, so I'm happy finally getting him. Nice. 22 got the E-Wing and the Armorer's Forge, all with Disney Shop discounts. Yeah, that's how I got all mine. Like when they went on, I canceled my Pulse orders and I got them on DisneyStore.com because they went on like pretty good sale. Allison forgot GMO is out. Have to get that. Trevor picked up Pigger and Dan in the modal nodes to switch out from my old ones. I'm assuming TVC. And yeah, you have to. You can't. I mean, I know it's not a perfect figure. But when you put them side by side with those little Power of the Force ones, like, yeah, you got to switch those out. Adam finally got the Hot Toys Queel and the holographic mall. Is it so much to ask for them to include the USB cord at these price points? Those are so cheap, Adam. Like, I don't get it either. Like they probably wouldn't cost more than a couple bucks for Hot Toys to do that. So you're right. Britt says 3 Hammond Collection Dinos, Triceratops, Concavinator, and Ankylosaurus were finally freed from a year and a half ago. Long pre-order. Purgatory. Sadly, Alan Grant did not make it. Never again with that store. I hope you're able to get him eventually, Britt. Howrunner Base. I got the TVC Forge set, the E-Wing, and the Legacy, the Light Cruiser hallway set. For Black Series, I got a few more new figures from Skeleton Crew, Brutus, Wim, and Neil. I love them all. Yeah, those figures look great. I'm going to be very tempted by those Black Series, at those figures from Skeleton Crew. Very tempted. Can't wait for the show. Yeah, me neither. I'm excited. I think it's already like within the next couple of weeks here. I'm excited. Lorena says, I was at Bryant Park Christmas market last week before my travels and picked up a Clone Wars line Mace Windu. It even has a shattered Jango Fett helmet. Nice. Britt says, better news. Use your Entertainment Earth code to get some VSTX and TMNT figures. Elapex, Janica, Rat King. Very nice. I'm glad that you were able to use that promo code Brit to get your stuff. Lorena likes your light on your ceiling.
Oh, so. Nice. Thank you. It's the I think it's Skylight. Let me go look at the label real fast.
Yeah, it did look cool.
Yeah, it's the Bliss Lights Skylight 2.0.
Nice.
So Bliss Lights is the brand. Yeah, thank you too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanna get something like that. Not for this room, but for like my bedroom when I'm falling asleep at night. Like I just feel like I'm like in space when I listen to one of my songs, like Interstellar Traveler. I just feel like I'm like.
Yeah, they're very cool. There's actually a lot on Amazon Black Friday sale right now.
I may need to take a look.
Yeah.
Let's see. Allison got one of my vintage grails, a 20 back Kenner display header. Awesome. Bob, I just got the Armor's Forge. I haven't set it up yet. Mary Sullivan says she got Hot Toys DX28 Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and NECA Ultimate Vincent Price. Great pickups. Vincent Price, awesome. And that Vader is awesome too. Howard her base. Love when people glow and get excited when showing off their collections like Joe just did. That's passion. Nice. Britt says, still waiting for those Chaos Theory toys to show up in my neck of the woods. William says, I got some 3 3/4-inch figure stands from Ian Butler. IB3D, great for shallow peg holes. Also ordered a Death Star computer and some hallway sets. He has some great world building items. Nice. Seriously, Star Wars, how's it going? Hello there, back to you. Adam says, cheers to our absent friend Dodgson, who's always bringing something fun to new acquisitions. Yeah. Hope Adam, Dodgson, hope you're doing well, and we will hopefully see you back very soon. Let's see here. Trevor says, I want some Cal Kestis in live action. Yeah, me too. That'd be awesome. Howard Bay says, I want the color changing version of Cal Saber so bad. Yeah, so they did make that one as in a color changing version. Like if you bought the whole thing with the blade and the belt clip and the display base. But I don't think it's available anymore, but they did make that for a time. Sale on Jedi Survivor PS4 right now. Got to pick it up. You should too. Oh. Well, in that case, I might know what to buy next. Looky Way Skywalker, good to see you. Got Armor's Forge and the Light Cruiser Hallway, both still unopened. Recently got the E-Wing. Got some 3 3/4-inch 18 bad guys from Galoob 1984 and another vintage Kenner C-3PO and R2-D2. Good acquisitions. Yeah, I think that's all the acquisitions we have here in the chat. Awesome. Well, hey, it has been fun. Joe, thank you so much for coming on and talking toys with me tonight. Some Star Wars talk. It's been a blast. And yeah, hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah, always down. Thank you so much for having me. I had such a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And let everybody know, where can they go to look you up on the interwebs?
So basically, my Instagram and YouTube channel are Return of the Jedi. My name's Joe, and it's literally Return of the Jedi, but Joe in there. So find me on there, and I'm more than happy to connect with people and just talk Star Wars. So hit me up.
Awesome. And I do have your YouTube and your Instagram linked down below. So friends that are with us, just click on the description and it'll take you straight to Joe's YouTube and Instagram. Be sure you give him a follow. Mm-hmm. And yeah, thanks again, Joe, and to everybody who's been hanging out with us here in the chat, who's been, even if you're not chatting, but you're watching, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Always a blast to hang out here in the Cantina on a Friday night. Reminder that I will not be doing a show next Friday because of the Thanksgiving holiday. But I will be on 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, December 3rd. That'll be the next stream. That'll be the album release party for Sands of the Cantina coming out December 3rd. 12 tracks will be available anywhere you buy your music or stream your music. So be on the lookout for that. That Friday, I will be doing a show. And then 2 Fridays from that, I will be doing, I think it was December 20th, the last show of the year before taking a bit of a break from Friday night streaming. So thank you guys, as always. You Cantinians are the best. Thank you for helping to make the show what it is. We really appreciate you. Thanks again to Adam for moderating, and to everybody for just keeping the positivity and the optimism and the love here in the show. We really appreciate that very much. And yeah, no matter where you're tuning in from out in the galaxy, thank you so much for watching Cantina Social Hour. Indeed, happy Thanksgiving to you too, Mary, and to everyone else. And we will catch you guys in the next episode. Be well, be safe. May the force be with you. And we will see you in the very near future. Joe, hang on for just a second. And everyone else, we'll catch you very soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.